Yeah, I was looking at them
Okay.
quite a bit during the first set of qualifiers, and it's kind of similar to what it's been for the last 3 or 4 months in terms of heroes that are being picked.
Yeah, it's still crazy to me to think that the number one picked hero is Wraith King right now. Like that hero just it feels like all of a sudden just shot on the scene and is the top picked hero throughout these qualifiers. And as you said, it's even in recent months here the major and so that took place.
Lifestealer 2.0, man. He's literally Lifestealer, but better.
Well, there you go. So Old Suck Gaming is like, yeah, that's right. Wraith King's still there. We'll go ahead and pick him up in that third spot even, so he makes it past the second tier of bans and snatch up the Wraith King. So very solid lineup indeed. I'm always a fan of Shadow Demon. That is, that's a hero we haven't talked about just yet with these drafts. But you know this. I personally love this hero, and I was vouching for him with the Soul Catcher change and everything. It feels like it took a while, but now Shadow Demon is yet another one of these top picked heroes on the scene as Earth Spirit makes an appearance for J.Storm.
Yeah, he's just kind of everything that you want in a position 5 right now, which is he's pretty good at fighting early on. He has a save. He scales relatively well, and he also is just really good at kind of fighting and brawling and harassing in the laning stage, which is definitely what you want when you're trying to just secure an easy lane for the Wraith King, who's going to go for that Midas Radiance. And then, just the ability to delay a burst on a hero. That one save could be all the difference when you're playing at this level.
Yeah. That's a bristleback. That's a not one a popular hero. Up until now, we've had some fairly popular picks throughout so far, even the Earth Spirit to an extent. But yeah, how about bristleback making an appearance for Old Suck Gaming? I mean, you look what he's up against so far. It makes sense. Of course, there's no break threat at least yet with what they're going against here, but still 2 picks to come for J.Storm, but a little bit off the wall with a bristleback pick.
Yeah, I want to say that Chives is a bristle spammer. I'm not totally sure if I'm remembering that correctly, but it sounds familiar to me. It's also here that we've seen a bit of, not a ton, but he's shown up a couple of times in specific spots, and it's a hero that gives you some Roche potential. You can kind of throw him in a lane, and he's going to do just fine. He creates a lot of pressure, and he actually scales surprisingly well.
Timbersaw, pretty good hero against somebody like a bristleback. Of course, Timbersaw brings the massive armor and the regen that he can stand ground against a bristle, and that pure damage certainly powerful as well against a hero like bristleback. So you'd have to think that's a reason why J.Storm liked the Timbersaw pick here. Although you are up against a Nyx assassin, who's yet another hero that's kind of annoying.
Potentially.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
potentially 2 sources of break. That being said, it is a Moo specialty. I would assume it's probably going to be the off lane. Quite good against Wraith King as well. You just really don't care about the skeletons whatsoever. You can clear them out pretty well yourself. And obviously you don't have to worry about the Nyx until level 6. So I think they're probably going to be looking to really snowball off of this Timbersaw pick. They have incredibly aggressive heroes, the Earth Spirit, the Ember Spirit, the Grimstroke. Everybody on the side of J.Storm just wants to be running at you from like minute 5 onwards, and they could definitely punish the greedier lineup from Old Suck.
I gotta say, I'm excited to see 9 for J.Storm. Just kind of on a side note, this is a player that's, in fact, I was just confirming on his profile, he hasn't played for a lot of teams. He's only played for 2 teams before this. For 2 years ago, he played for Penta, and then last season, he played for Team Spirit. In fact, most of this season, up until now, joining J.Storm, of course, just a couple months ago, getting ready for these qualifiers. But he's always been on top of the MMR ladder when it comes to Europe and Dota, and a fantastic player that a couple of times I feel like we got a chance to see him in the European region at that point. So he is going to be on the Ember Spirit here, by the way, as it looks like Juggernaut. It's pretty classic resolution style hero, certainly, with the Juggernaut pick.
Yeah, it gives you a hard farmer, gives you a hero that really can't be punished so much by Old Suck. They don't have any way to cancel a spin TP out, which means that Rezo is going to be able to farm extremely aggressively. And it gives them some good, physical damage tower push, which they are certainly lacking at this point.
That's a Storm Spirit, and that means we have all 3 spirits in the game. That's kind of fun. That's actually very rare. We get that.
But where's the 4th spirit, Breaky?
That's true. That's what I was getting at. So we have a game with 3 spirits. It's going to summon the 4th spirit. After this game, it's going to be announced. No.
All right.
That was a secret to unlocking it. That's what Icebark was waiting for this whole time, to get a truly competitive match with the 3 spirits. But that is a Storm Spirit, though. On a serious note, I mean, they were very confident with the Storm Spirit. You look at what he's up against. There is not a lot of crowd control. That's the first thing you look for, of course, with a Storm Spirit snap pick like that. And they are certainly lacking a fair amount of it.
Yeah, the only thing he really has to worry about is the silence coming out from the Grimstroke and the Earth Spirit. But, you know, you pick up a Yule's, which is a pretty standard build-up item, and you should have a very free game. It also pairs quite nicely with the likes of a Nyx Assassin who can, you know, roam around the map and find those quick zipped pickoffs. That being said, Old Suck is definitely on the slower side in terms of coming online, and that's definitely something that J.Storm could be punishing, as we kind of mentioned earlier.
You think so? I guess for the Wraith King, you expecting to go to Radiance or something like that? Is that why you'd say that?
Yeah, that's just the standard build, is to go for the Midas into Radiance, and especially because they have the Shadow Demon on their side, there's nothing really that could steal the Radiance away and punish them for that. You know, of course, you could go for a more aggressive build, but at the same time, you've got the Storm, it just kind of feels like they're playing for a little bit more late game on the side of Old Suck Gaming.
All right, well, we got game... I've been doing that. We got game 1 of a 1-game series here between these two teams. Obviously, looking forward to seeing what happens. As we mentioned, both of these teams, in fact, are coming in with a loss. J.Storm playing Forward Gaming, and in fact, Old Suck Gaming just playing Black Sheep in their previous match, and now showing up here. So 2 days, you play 7 games in total. The top 4 advance on the playoffs, and then 2 more days to determine that team that will be representing the region. So I got to ask, I mean, is this going to be a case of you just favor J.Storm as a team more, or do you think Old Suck Gaming has a lineup that can compete here and perhaps pull through with a victory?
I would say probably not. I got to go with J.Storm on this one. I think there's too much experience. These players probably all rank higher in terms of their individual performance as well. You know, I won't say never, just because this is NA, it can be pretty random, and this is a team, as you mentioned, that kind of is coming together for the first time, really, in this iteration of it. So there's always a chance, but I would have to say heavily favoring J.Storm.
Yeah, that's the thing for me. It's one of these cases, it's like we can't just forget that. I mean, this is certainly a team that, you know, even picking up a couple of players, it's not like they've been playing together the whole season in J.Storm, just because they're a very solid organization. They did go through some roster changes. In fact, a player like Moo, obviously, he's swapped around a bit when it comes to his role. Yes, he's a very comfortable offlane player from his history, but he's been playing a lot more carry role in recent. So that's the one thing that's keeping me from suggesting that J.Storm certainly is the favorite here, but you would still have to believe it. Either way, we got to play the game. Well, enough of that theory crafting. We have Fear. He's having a good time up at the top lane, kind of chilling in the trees, but Shadow Demon says he knows he's here. He's going to go up to him, put a couple of auto attacks in, just annoy him as much as possible. Hasn't leveled anything yet, but going to prevent him ideally from pulling.
Bristol's going to go down here, I think. Very close.
Regen. Oh, just enough damage. And Resolution does not take the extra tower hit either, so he'll survive it in the end. By the way, back to Fear. He's at 4 stacks. If he gets that 5th stack, he could be in trouble, but he rolls away right before. And now he's going to TP away. So, quirky things going on early in this game. But, yeah, the Bristleback First Blood, I think J.Storm's pretty happy with it.
Yeah, definitely. And Rezo able to, I believe he got salved up by 1437, so he can actually start the lane with a reasonable amount of health. I think that, you know, this is kind of how they have to play it. They want to pressure the Bristleback before he gets a couple more levels in Quills. After that, it's going to be very difficult for J.Storm to play in this lane.
So we talked about a Timbersaw, you know, pretty good against the idea the Bristleback came after the Bristleback happened, but yeah, we already mentioned the Nyx Assassin. Shadow Demon's another one of these heroes that Timbersaw certainly doesn't like. As 1437 goes down at the bottom, I noticed that Bristleback dive in the trees, and sure enough, Resolution's kind of just keeping his distance. He can't do much about that. He just has to kind of watch as 1437 gets taken out. So classic Bristleback. You get a kill on him, he gets level 2, and he just like starts running at you, and apparently you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, 1437 is he was coaching recently, wasn't he?
I believe so, yeah. He was a player last season for TNC even. I think he stepped in.
He was on Tigers to start the year, but I think he went to a coach, so I'm not sure actually when the last time that he played. But we've got action all over the place right now.
Yeah, apparently. Moo going down. I didn't even catch that, but that's 3 heroes up there at the top lane. Like I said, I'm really not surprised. I mean, that Shadow Demon's just been constantly throwing poisons up. And then Nyx Assassin on top. It just doesn't seem like Moo can get any sort of decent farm going up the top lane, and now a death to go with it. So that's good news for this Dire team, though, right? Timbersaw is one of these heroes that you want to make sure to lock down.
Yeah, it's actually kind of interesting. Both offlaners are the type of hero where you can contest them for the first couple of levels, but then after that, you sort of just have to secede from the lane, and they're gonna do whatever they want for like the next 10 or so minutes until those break mechanics come online.
Nyx Assassin, top lane, being run down by Fear. Orb of Venom's doing a little bit of work. The Impale only hits 1, though.
However, it is 2. Not gonna dive though.
No, not worth it, he says. Obviously, Shadow Demon's still in the area, too, and he'd have a stun from Wraith King, so Fear's not going to risk it for a turn kill. Simply says, all right, you got away. That's just fine. Man, bottom lane, Bristleback's going to pull a couple of creep waves, and Grimstorm's just going to... Yeah, he can just watch.
Yeah, he's got a bottle already, so he's going to be totally fine in terms of regen, and 1437, he's going to have to look for something else to do, I feel like.
Ooh, Ember Spirit gets the kill in the mid lane, a solo kill, in fact. Nyx Assassin committing suicide in the meantime, but he just ends up diving Storm Spirit at the tower, and just too much pressure to handle. You see the bottle's been used on Ember Spirit. That is big, though, for 9, getting a solo kill.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's going to be about half a level ahead at this point, and, before Storm Spirit hits that 6, Ember can absolutely crush him in lane.
Well, Storm, speaking of not being level 6 yet, so he's going to find himself between the 2 other spirits, Nurse Spirit and Ember Spirit, but now here's the support. Nyx Assassin, Shadow Demon, Disruption coming out. You see Storm Spirit, he's still good to go. Ember Spirit living life on the edge, popping the wand, going for the Sleight of Fist. It's not enough damage, though. And 9 does get taken out, so doing his best to dodge right there and get away ain't going to be enough, though, as Bleak goes down at the top lane to Moo. Moo finds himself in a 1-versus-1 all of a sudden, and he takes full advantage of it as he gets a kill.
Yeah, that's really good job by Moo punishing that rotation. Really nice rotation from the Nyx Assassin and the Shadow Demon to come in there and turn that around and help equalize the mid lane to some extent. But one-on-one against the carry, Timbersaw is going to win that 100% of the time.
Yeah, especially against the strength and the Whirling Death to work with. So, again, takes full advantage of that as the 5-minute bounty runes are coming. And looks like we're going to see a 2-for-2. No contesting really on either side. But back up to Timbersaw. He will be having to worry about the supports moving back over now. As Shadow Demon comes in, starts applying the poisons. Wraithfire Blast already out. Moo's still holding his ground as if he's feeling pretty cozy. He does have level 3 reactive armor, but now the Earth Spirit shows up, and yeah, Fear's going to try to set up a turn. The disruption, he kills the illusions quickly. That's going to be 5 stacks of poison. It's not enough damage, though. He had plenty of life. Lee's going for the man mode, and the crit comes out to take out Earth Spirit, but now he needs to run against this Timbersaw. He has a lot of armor, much different than the Earth Spirit, but he can't get away. Timber Chain does it. For Moo, middle lane. They're diving, by the way. Storm Spirit flying in with the Nyx Assassin. Go for the kill. Nice job with the Ink Swell, though, but it's not enough. Grimstroke will fall. And now 9 is going to have to make it out of there as well with a Fire Remnant even to make sure to keep his distance. So level 6 happens. This is an action-packed game, though. 10 kills in total as we're just hitting the 6-minute mark now.
That's what I like to see, Breaky. This is NA Dota's finest. Everybody's running at each other right now, trying to outplay each other. There's a lot of pride on the line. These guys are pubbing all day, every day against each other, and now you actually have to put it on the line for something much bigger than a couple of MMR points.
Yeah, it's a little bit bigger. Yeah, that's it's quite a big deal, in fact. Resolution spinning on top of Bristleback, but Bristle just turning his back, in fact, and running away, so he's fine. Good to go as he's almost level 6 as well. But Resolution, Bristleback's annoying. He is not letting that phase his farm, though. He is top CS in the game right now at 44-12. When you look at his CS, so it's a very successful start for Resolution as it usually goes. But back to the top lane, Wraith King, I think he's going to be in trouble. In fact, he's in dead trouble. Killing spree for Moo. This is a Timbersaw that died early on. He was 1-versus-3 for a bit of it. and then all of a sudden the support's left, and he's gotten 3 kills since.
Yeah, this is not looking very good for the Wraith King. This is not where you want to be. He's not going to be online for another 15-20 minutes, depending on what build he goes, and he is completely shut out of this lane. If he goes back to the top lane, I would be very, very surprised if he doesn't go down again.
Are you still expecting that Midas Radiance build even on Wraith King?
I don't know. I mean, this is NA Dota. People are pretty stubborn about their builds, but you'd have to imagine that the timing is looking a little bit bleak right now. No pun intended.
That was perfect, really. Now, Storm Spirit, not so perfect. He gets found by the Earth Spirit, and he didn't have any mana. I mean, I'm sitting here watching it and just realizing, yeah, he just got found without much mana and much life for that matter. Bottom lane, Bristleback is trying to run, and it doesn't look like it's going to be enough, though. He gets spun down back up here. You see Earth Spirit still being chased. He's able to roll out, though, and Fear will survive. And you see even at the top lane, Timbersaw's going in once again.
He's in trouble again. How does he get away here?
Well, he's going to juke. He is running pretty fast.
Does have phase boots, but...
TP coming in. Storm Spirit. Okay, well, Storm Spirit here. Moo.
He's going to build up the stacks. He's like, bring it on, guys.
Ready to fight. I don't think it's going to work, though. Even another support coming in. It's a matter of time here. Who's going to get the last hit? It's going to be nobody yet.
Nobody.
He's level 4 reactive. Hey, don't say me. Is he really getting away, Nyx Assassin? Okay, he catches him. Who's that TP in?
He's regenning a lot. I don't
Spirit.
know if they kill him. I don't think they do. He's going to turn.
Oh, no. Oh, no. It's a disaster right now for the Dire team. Shadow Demon's going to get cut down. Chive says sayonara, or at least he tried to, and he's going to get caught by Fear. Moo takes a stun. That doesn't matter, though. As we've seen, the Chakra comes out, and just a matter of time before it's enough damage. Chakram gets the kill. Double kill for Moo. Are you kidding me? I suppose that's Timbersaw, though, especially with level 4 reactive armor. We've seen it before.
Yeah, it's also Moo Timbersaw. I mean, he knows the limits of this hero better than maybe anybody else in North America, and I don't know. That's one of those sequences of events that really could start spelling the end of this game. I don't want to say that so early on, but that's a tough one to come back from.
Yeah, it is.
He's fat right now.
Yeah, in a good way, absolutely. Moo's feeling pretty good. In fact, what is coming out to him? It is going to be, this is bracers?
Couple bracers, yeah.
Okay.
Couple bracers, full wand, so he's going to just get way more tanky. Got the urn coming out to Fear as well.
Yeah, and drums is for resolution eventually when he can make it down there. So you do look at all 3 cores on the net worth. They are top 3 in the game. Comfortable amount. So, yeah, understandable why J.Storm is feeling pretty good. It's 1-4-3-7. Uh-oh, he tried to TP in front of them. However, he does have some backup, including Moo and Fear. He gets taken out, but at what cost now is Storm Spirit. He's got the mana. He's going to zip in, try to go for the rune. It's picked up, though, by...
Fear snagged it.
Okay, he did, actually. And so Storm Spirit has to go back the other way and cannot refresh his bottom. I like how Moo just walks back to the top lane. It's like, all right, my job here's done. I'm going to go farm.
Yeah, he's unkillable right now. There's nothing, absolutely nothing that Old Suck Gaming can do to this guy right now. And Bleak needs to be extremely careful because a couple more of those burst and he's gone. No ultimate skilled up at the moment. Holding the point.
Is it? Yeah, he is holding it. I mean, he's going to just keep running for the time being. But Chives is nearby. He's got his Vendetta active. Wants to open up on Fear, maybe. Would love to go for Timbersaw, I'm sure. Now they're going to open up on Fear. He stops his roll. And now it's Moo turns around. It's like, all right, let's fight over here, I suppose.
Yes. Tanky Earth Spirit, though.
It is. He's got the Earth and the stick. The 5 charges, though, come out of the poison stack, and he gets the kill. However, Shadow Demon going to be cut down by Timbersaw. Storm Spirit shows up late, but that's the last thing you want to do is try to kill this Timbersaw, as we've seen before already. So doesn't commit for it. An eye for an eye, I suppose. Still an advantage for J.Storm, because you look at bottom lane, Resolution, he's PvEing.
Yeah, I honestly just forgot that Resolution is in this game. This is the exact type of start that he loves to have. It's what J.Storm has been so good at doing for him. And he's just going to take full advantage of it. If there's one carry player in North America who just really abuses a good start, it's Resolution.
Absolutely. And he's doing that here. He's going to use this Omni Slash to scare off Nyx Assassin, I suppose. I mean, I don't think that was ever going to be a kill. That was just an odd choice with the creeps
a little
nearby.
optimistic. Come on, Rezo. We were just talking so well about you.
Yeah, he's like, I could be silly too. Just presses R. All right. It did give 4 heroes essentially to go to that area, and then in the meantime, the mid tower, it gets taken out by J.Storm. So talk about making space right there from Resolution, as he is headed towards that mid lane and very likely going to be an assistant for some kind of kill. He's spinning on top of Versatis. Playing the Bristleback. It's not going to be enough damage though. Purge up on 9 currently. Going to come through as he gets pulled in by the Storm Spirit, but it's not nearly enough damage for the follow-up. Nyx Assassin, meanwhile, gets taken out by his supporting cast. Looks like Shadow Demon's going to be under the same boat as, yes, he does. That's double kill for Resolution. And the catch on Bristleback to get 3 kills in total for J.Storm. I mean, Roshan is up, but I don't even know if they're thinking about that. They could just keep going for towers at this rate. In fact, or they could go for a Wraith King kill up here. He doesn't have mana currently. He does have a Mango, though. Oh, he didn't use it. Ouch.
Yeah, J.Storm is itemizing perfectly right now. Resolution picking up the drums, which is not all that common on Jug these days. And just indicating they want to fight, they want to fight, and they want to fight. And you've got the Ember Spirit going for an early Veil, which is, again, not something that's super popular. Usually you see the Maelstrom, just kind of more greedy style of build, but Veil says, let's fight early. More armor, more damage.
Why not? Getting items to do that. And J.Storm, they say we have plenty more games to play. Let's take care of business in this one, which, as we've talked about, is certainly one that they should be the favorites in. And they are showing that. So, by the way, I just noticed this Earth Spirit cosmetic. There's a freaking snake wrapped around his neck.
Yeah, it's from the new set from the TI.
Scary,
Collector's
man.
Cache.
Moves around. Ugh. Snakes are scary. That's a kayak.
Snakes or spiders, which is scarier?
I would say spiders, actually. Those legs and the way they move, yeah, no, that's... I actually don't mind snakes, but yeah, spiders are. No, thank you. Ember Spirit, by the way, he's fine, apparently. He just remnants out, and Resolution just spinning on top now. Disruption to save his teammate in Chives. The Storm Spirit has to use all the rest of his mana to get on out of there. Nyx Assassin going for the juke. That ain't gonna work. Resolution hunts down the real one.
Bristol's in trouble, too.
Uh-oh. I don't know if you can expect TPs, especially with the life pool of everyone right now on the dire side of the lack of mana, that is. And Moo just runs on up and presses Q. I mean, again, he started this game with a death in a 1 versus 3 situation. He's on an 8-kill streak since then. But that's just one of many great scenarios going on right now for J.Storm. It's 1-4-3-7 is even going to set up a turn kill potentially on Storm Spirit. He might fall. Storm really wants the kill. He goes for it, but now Ember Spirit comes in with the shackles. And here comes Earth Spirit. He absolutely pays for it.
Fear too.
And it hits the Shadow Demon. Yeah, that's going to be 2. Wraith King comes in very late. He wants Earth Spirit, but now they're pinging him out. Yeah, Wraith King has to be careful about this, as he's going to get Boulder Smash too. He gets the kill. All right, he'll be fine, I suppose.
He does have Reincarnation, though, so.
I'm trying to figure out where to go next, but Resolution's got a couple of bounty runes picked up. Top bounty runes. Bristle's heading over there. I don't think he's going to get there first, though. Yeah, it'll be Ember Spirit. So all 4 going for J.Storm, and we have an 11,000 net worth lead at 15 minutes into the game. I think that's a pretty cozy one.
Yeah, we also have a 15-minute Bloodstone on this Timber Saw.
Oh, wow.
As if Moo wasn't hard enough to kill already.
Yeah, that's brutal. That is brutal. He is just going to be... Well, has been and will continue to be unstoppable. I mean, you look at Wraith King. He did go to Hannah Midas. It's one of those classic cases, I suppose, of, you know what, you're just so far behind that you have to be extra greedy anyway, so why not just go for this whole build? But, yeah, that's still a ways off. Might get a kill. Certainly will get a kill, in fact. 1-4-3-7. He ain't afraid to die. He's died 5 times now in this game. It's fine. Getting some vision down in the jungle.
He finds 3 heroes, which means that his team is completely safe to take this Roche, which is what they're doing right now. Moo tanking for Resolution. That was a very early Roche timing.
Yeah, well, I mentioned that earlier, and then I thought about it. It's like, this is not a great Roshan team, so I didn't know if they were going to really try for it or not, but I suppose when you have Timbersaw just tanking Roshan that whole time, and then Juggernaut just slowly but surely beats him down, then that works out pretty well. So they do get the Aegis, and they're going to go right down middle lane for the Tier 2 tower. So Old Suck Gaming, I don't know what they can do, but obviously you have to figure something out As they are still hanging around right now. There's multiple items being picked up though on the right hand of your screen. As you see, Manta for Juggernaut, Maelstrom for Ember Spirit, on top of the Bloodstone for Timbersaw, and apparently they're going to catch Bristleback over here. As Nyx Assassin, nice and pale. It's not going to be nearly enough though. Eventually cut down for the kill. That is a Spirit Vessel, by the way, on Earth Spirit too. So that's even more coming out of him. And they're going to catch up the Nyx Assassin as well as they dust him up. So matter of time. And there's the Godlike now for Moo, because why not?
Well, this is kind of what we thought might happen from the draft as far as J.Storm being able to abuse this greedy lineup. Real at least going on Juggernaut here.
Resolution spinning on up.
It's just a bait.
Sure, he's got Aegis, so worst case, he comes right back up. And they get the kill onto Storm anyways, who's now down for 40 or so seconds without a buyback, in fact. So, and they're going to go tier 3. Pre-20 minute, but when you have such a lead, easily can do so. No point to stop it this time. Yeah, the Bristleback pick is, I don't know. That kind of, I guess that's where you can kind of look at the draft for old school gaming and be like, was that the strongest option? Because what is Bristleback really bringing to the table here?
Yeah, it kind of feels like he and Wraith King fulfill the same purpose in their draft, which is a tanky frontliner that runs through and just does a bunch of damage. And instead, they're sacrificing not having any way to actually take fights other than Nyx Assassin finding somebody.
To be fair, Bristleback is similar to a hero like a Timbersaw, where he kind of wants to snowball as well, and then that's where he just becomes ridiculous as far as unkillable. So clearly not the case. He died early on too, which mooted as we mentioned, but the game just didn't necessarily play out even close to the same. But as we're talking about that, I mean, you could they're trying to hold his old Suck Gaming and even a buyback on Shadow Demon. In fact, it is going to be a hold at the tier 3 tower, and that goes back to my point I made about the lack of Roshan. And objective-wise, this really isn't a great sieging team necessarily, so that's the one saving grace for the Dire, and should buy them at least a little bit of time.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more so that they're just going to wait for Healing Ward to come back up and then probably push down some more towers. Although, J.Storm is playing extremely spread right now, so this is an opportunity to find a kill.
That's it. Gonna be a kill. Our Spirit gets taken out, so Fear falls. Resolution quickly comes over, though. No Omni Slash. But he's got Ember Spirit to join as well. It burned all of his mana to do this, but very worth it to kill the Storm, who's once again out for 40-plus seconds, so not the exchange you're looking for if you're old Suck Gaming. But again, anything you can do to keep them from pushing into your base for now, I suppose, is somewhat of a victory, as the more time it makes for Wraith King to farm his Radiance. And you know what? I was watching Complexity versus Beast Coast earlier today, and that was a game where Beast Coast had a very farmed Wraith King over, and everyone else really wasn't doing well. The team was down 15 to 20,000 net worth for most of the game. They came back and win it, though, and won it, that is. So I'm not saying that this is even close to the same game, but Wraith King is one of these heroes that certainly can take over games when he gets the farm that he's looking for.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily call the old Suck Gaming better in the late game either. I kind of think that J.Storm just has the better late game lineup anyway. But, you know, there's always a chance.
Telling me there's a chance. That's what they're telling themselves. Moo's trying to make them realize that that chance doesn't exist. So they find another kill, and he's up to 20 stacks now. On that Bloodstone, he has a casual plate mail on the way to a Lotus Orb, which actually he has changed up now. He's looking to build a hood, so we'll see what he ends up going, but if it even matters. That's a nullify, or a Juggernaut picking up a Diffusal Blade, that is. That was a slip of the tongue right there. Storm Spirit dies again, and he does buy back, though, and he's going to do what he can to keep the creep wave pushed back, but again, it just seems too little too late for the Dire team as the tower goes down and the rack's now exposed.
Yeah, here comes the Radiance for Wraith King, but it still feels like even with that nice influx of damage, they just don't really have enough to burn through any of these heroes with all the sustain coming out from J.Storm.
Storm is You know, we've seen this in the later game, Storm Spirits, where it can certainly work just spamming out the waves like that, but he is not farmed enough to really be the best spot to be doing it, as that's a great Soulblind initiation. They kill the Bristleback. Chives able to make it out thanks to Disruption. Storm Spirit flying through. He is now out of mana, though, and he gets caught by the Shackles. A Remnant forward. He has a dieback now. 70 seconds is out for, and likely could be the official beginning of the end, favoring J.Storm. So, again, they're coming off the loss to Forward Gaming to start 0-1. Arguably one of the toughest opponents in the groups that they're going to have to face. They're going to pick up a win here more than likely. Has to feel pretty good.
Yeah, they're playing angry in this game. 34 kills in 22 minutes. And that's definitely going to spell the end of this one. There's just no way for them to be pushed out of the base at this point.
And I like what we were mentioning earlier, too, in that you could just tell J.Storm playing angry, playing fast. They built around this idea they wanted to win sooner than later. And that goes back to the Veil. That goes back to the early drums on Juggernaut.
Oh, Timber goes down. No buyback. They're going to have to back out.
Telling me there's a chance.
Loses some charges. Still has 24, however.
Yeah. Hey, well, the Dire has a 1% chance right now, according to the win probability. So, again, it does exist. And
that Shadow Demon Soulcatcher is pretty nutty when it comes to cutting through these tanky cores like Timbersaw.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Yeah, that goes back to the Timbersaw pick. Again, it's solid against Bristle, but some of these other heroes not so solid against. So we're a little worried for Moo, but I guess not really needed to be in the long run. But again, as you're pointing out, you do see why. As potentially this still as farmed as he is. Good fall. If they're able to connect like that as Wraith King, he's sitting on his Radiance now, and so he's got the early farm combo as Shadow Demon tanks a gank for the Wraith King. Is that an Ags? It sure is. Ags on Ember Spirit, by the way, just delivered. So he went the Maelstrom, and then he picks up the Ags. So they nerfed the Ags a little bit, but it's still a pretty powerful item on the hero.
Still makes the hero almost unkillable.
The Dire team was here. Two of them are dead, and Wraith King, he's going to be a third. No Reincarnate, still on Coda, and they are finally going to call it. They've realized, all right, enough's enough. J.Storm will take the game and move to 1-1. Old Sock Gaming going to fall to 0-2. Still early. Anything can still happen. Every team is still technically, mathematically in it, but they will be 0-2 so far in the round-robin stage.
Yep, pretty clean game from J.Storm there. Moo really just absolutely dominating the top lane, leading to just an unstoppable snowball.
Really not much more to say about that game, as definitely analyzing it throughout the lead that was for J.Storm. I mean, you look at the endgame stats, 11-0-11 performance for Resolution. That's a pretty solid one right there, if I've ever seen one. So, again, you let the man farm creeps for the first 15 minutes of the game. Even push a tower early on, what seemed like no to little defense. This will usually be the result more than not, so it's something to address when you're playing a team like J.Storm, certainly, moving forward. But that is going to do it for this game. That means things should start to get a little bit back on schedule. We've been running behind throughout the day, but point is, our next match on this stream is going to be Complexity versus Zolotto. I'm actually really excited about that one. And I'm sure you feel the same there. As a lot, of course, the Mexican squad going up against Complexity, who, well, what more do I say about that? Obviously a team that I have cherished for a while myself as one of the players that they've had and everything. So we'll see how that turns out, but we are going to head to a break. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. The TI9 North American Qualifiers. We will continue next with Complexity versus Zolotto. Stay tuned.